But I think this is the video that people were telling me about. Let me see.
I'm down to watch this. It's a 1-minute clip by Yango. It's 18 likes.
I'm assuming so. It's only a minute on that dude's.
19.
Someone told me it was just a video about Tectone criticizing Zenless, and so I decided I wanted to hop on the
It's already Yango, so that means I'm gonna take this with
the train, so to speak.
The
bandwagon.
But why Zenless Zone 0 fell off? I have actually a lot of interesting things to say about this, but this will definitely spark a discussion, I think, amongst my...
And I'm someone who was like really, I was playing, I got really freaking good. I got Jane Doe as my freaking main. I freaking love that game. It's cool, it's fun. But I kind of fell off, even though I actually really enjoy the game.
Chat.
So I feel like I have kind of a unique opinion. I don't hate it at all.
After two. We'll see whether I'm on the
Most opinions I tend to see is either they love it or they hate it for all of these games. And I actually love the game. I just freaking fell off.
Dislike side.
It's the character designs that annoyed me with that game.
Okay, well, already just fucking brain mistake. Okay, all right. It's not the character. The character designs are fine.
When that game first came out, I felt like...
What'd you say? Hold on. Let me increase the...
character designs that annoyed me with that game.
Damn. Sorry, he's like really low.
Okay, well, already just fucking brain mistake. Okay, all right. It's not the...
Brainless take? What was his take?
I'm down to watch this. It's a 1-minute clip by Yango. It's 18 likes, 19 dislikes. Now, I'll be real. It's already Yango, so that means I'm gonna take this with a massive grain of salt because bro's a memer. I love him for that. But why Zenless Zone 0 fell off? I have actually a lot of interesting things to say about this, but this will definitely spark a discussion, I think, amongst my chat. Let's see here what he thinks. I want to read the comments after, too. We'll see whether I'm on the like or dislike side.
It's the character designs that annoyed me with that game,
Okay, well, already just fucking brain mistake. Okay, all right. It's not the character. The character designs are fine.
When that game first came out...
The character designs are sexy, and I love all of them. Ah, crud, I'm blocking too. Damn it, there's freaking 3 reaction. I'm reacting to a reaction of a reaction. I guess I'll freaking take this side. Since you guys took all the good spots. I'm on this side now, Monos. Yeah, that's right.
I felt like
get this quarter on to myself. Y'all stay over there.
Right?
They're still on. They're still great. They're still.
Love them. Grace was my #1 waifu until the Rat Queen showed up. Where is she? Rat Queen's not here. Where is she? That's okay.
First characters.
No Rat Queen, but Grace is here. That's fine.
Then after a bit, they've just made like. I feel like they made...
Dude, Gross Frontline, I love it so much, dude. I already finished the entire campaign, but I still go in just to do my dailies, because just because it's fun. I don't even care, like, I don't even...
Like, fucking, like, 8 big boob, straight cell, coded characters in a row.
Who cares?
All look similar.
Nah.
They're amazing. More, please. Please, more.
That's not the problem.
Terrible game for terrible people. On people...
Okay.
A terrible game for terrible people? Wait, is he actually a hater of Zenless? You see what I'm saying? It's either people who really love it or really hate everything about, like, these games. And it's like that for every gacha game, though.
Okay. Terrible game for terrible people, he says.
Is he memeing?
The characters' boobs are too big. Let's...
I love all the character designs. All of them.
Calm down,
Ambi
buddy.
all day.
Okay, let's calm down. It's not that big of a deal. Gooners exist. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna let Homeboy cook.
Yeah, come on. What are we supposed... How we... Like, come on. You're just gonna leave us out? We're like 90% of the freaking audience for these games.
People bitching about Star Rail power creep. ZZZ has a way more power creep. Unless...
No.
Star Rail power creep is real, though. It's insane, though. First of all... Nah, sorry, no. That's a bad comparison. Nah. The more I think about it, Honkai Star Rail, I have one of the most overpowered freaking, I have one of the most overpowered builds. Which is the Kafka, Black Swan. Right, no, it's gonna freaking update the whole thing. There's no way I'm gonna be able to freaking pull up my team. But even with my Black Swan Kafka, build, like, there's just some freaking, bosses, especially for the events, that... I'm not gonna pull it up, screw it. If I was already logged in, you know, maybe, but I know it's gonna freaking do a whole update and everything. I haven't updated it for the latest patch. But, it's insane. No, it's insane. You can't, like, how about this? Let me explain this the easiest way possible. The power creep in Honkai Star Rail is so outrageous that if you played with any freemium characters and never pulled for the banners, you would be annihilated, guaranteed. There would be no chance of you actually advancing in the game at a certain point, especially in events, especially in the end game. So, and that sucks. That hardcore sucks, and I hate that. That should never be the case. You should be able to literally, like, at least if we wanna consider what I generally believe, right? I mean, this is all opinion based, but I believe that you should be able to, like, basically go through the entire campaign, go through the entire game, without needing to pull for characters. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, the premium characters should be there because they have, like, different play styles than the standard set, let's say.
So, ZZZ only has one character that's power creep, and that's Miyabi. And I'm going to be real, I do think Miyabi was a horrible choice. And that being said, when she came out, it was very fun, but I don't think it spells
Miyabi was a power creep? I haven't tried Miyabi yet. Too much.
anything promising for the future of the game.
The Rat Queen is the only one that matters. Zenless Zone Zero, on the other hand, I have to say, you can pretty much run damn near any freaking character, and like, as long as you have good synergy with them, like match the freaking elements and all that, you can pretty much take most of the hits and like go through most of the game. I don't see quite. I don't like. It's just not quite as exaggerated. Like, let's say that there is to some degree a power creep. It's just definitely nowhere near as strong. Zenless Zone Zero, for the biggest issue I have with it is how complicated the damn thing is sometimes. A lot of the game is like too damn complicated. It's not something I can just like hop on, like feel right at home, beat up some bad guys and get out. You know, like I can't. I need a game that I can hop onto and like whenever the frick, even if it's a month later, and just like freaking grind out some levels. You know, level up my characters, and then like sort of drop it again if I need to. I don't know.
I'm retarded. I feel like it's not even close. I feel like in ZZZ,
Now, HSR is far worse right now.
the newer characters were clearly better. And the game was new, too. But maybe it's just more noticeable since it's like an action game, whereas like Star Rail, like, sure, there can be like power creep here and there, but since it's turn-based, I don't know, maybe I just don't feel it.
There can be power creep here and there. Nah, that is an absolutely dishonest take. BS. It's an absolute insane power creep in Honkai Star Rail. As somebody who loves Honkai Star Rail, I've been playing it for... Good lord. Oh, dude, I freaking, like... Mommy Kafka's still the best, but like, let's be honest. No, there's an insane power creep in Honkai Star Rail, and if you can't even, like, admit to that, then it's like, I don't freaking trust anything you say at this point. There's absolute... Like, bro, they even freaking asked the developers to try beating any characters with freaking, like, low-rank characters, any of the new event characters, and they freaking cowered it out. They chickened out because they know damn well it's ridiculous to even try
Power creep, I literally
to take on any of the latest event bosses without having the most meta of the meta characters from the banners.
I play anime mobile games a lot, and it's not as bad as most anime mobile games I play. Like, genuinely. I'm like...
I don't know how he could possibly be saying that shit. Nah, I've probably played the most turn-based RPGs as anime, like, you know, turn-based combat style games. No, Honkai Star Rail got the most out of hand, the quickest out of pretty much any of them that I've played. Summoners Wars remained pseudo-balanced for
Summoners Wars I did not play.
the 10 years that I played, or not 10 years,
I guess the biggest like where I went insane on would be like Girls Frontlines, the OG, Arc Knights, again, Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves, now Girls Frontline 2. There's a couple more that I'm forgetting the freaking names of.
10 years that it's existed, like, newer units are still frequently used.
Tower of Fantasy, what is it? Soul, what is it? Was it like Soul Eater or something like that? It was something. Soul Worker, that's what I went crazy on Soul Worker with Chaos. Tower of Fantasy was freaking dope. Yeah, at least on Steam, those are the only two major ones I was going crazy on. The rest I did mainly on mobile. Like at
endgame
work.
teams, even like 3 stars can clear all content. The only time it ever
I
gets
probably
really
had
bad
more
is
on my-
ladder, but other than that, pretty much everything's viable to beat
On my
everything.
phone, on my old phone, if I freaking
I
check.
think it's just a horrendous
I
thing.
was
would
insane.
just-
I was
maybe
insane
we
with
just
gacha
got
games, bro.
unlucky
Because they were
by
free.
playing some more power creep
And I had no
forward
freaking monies.
based RPGs. You know, HSR got really bad really quick.
More bored of Star Rail now. Like, obviously, the game's never as fun as when it's first out.
Of
so
course.
At this point, I don't really give a fuck if they.
I want to say, I feel like the part that's the reason why it got so out of hand so quickly too, and not the biggest reason, right? But I feel like a major part of it too is the way that the game is designed. You can't just have one, like, oh, I pulled for this one character, I pulled the banner on this one character who's like a really good DPS. Oh, it's amazing. That's cool and all, but just because you have Kafka, let's say, that doesn't mean you're gonna be smacking. See, because you need, because it's cool to have Kafka, but if you don't got Black Swan, it don't really matter. You feel me? If you don't got damn it, what's her name? If you don't have Gwynethyn to also like deal additional damage or Hua, then the team isn't really gonna be smacking the way you think it's supposed to. You get me? You can't just get a strong DPS and be like, oh, cool. Well, unless you get Firefly, right? But you can't, like, you need a lot of supports too. It's for specific DPS characters, like especially if it's a hyper carry character, you need supports too. And so, and in a lot of cases, you need like banner support characters. You feel me?
They like release some.
But that being said, people will say, well, obviously every single gacha game isn't as fun as when it first released. Well, that's just simply not.
Like, take Kafka, and again, just my perspective, just because my main is Kafka. Like, the only characters that I could think of that are like, oh, these you gotta have these with Kafka would be like, it would be freaking Black Swan. It would be Silver Wolf. It would be freaking Blade. It would be freaking well, I guess what if it is technically a 4-star, right? Isn't she? No. Well, you know, good question. I don't even have a copy of her. I pulled quite a bit, so maybe she's also a banner. I don't
Right, I
remember.
mean, let's just
actually.
take Wuthering Waves, for example. I mean, Wuthering Waves is now more fun at 2.0 than it was on launch. And I think we'd all universally...
I have not tried. I have not. Wait, actually, yeah, no. I played the freaking the Shorekeeper update, which is freaking dope. Love
agree
it.
with that. They did an amazing reimagining.
We played that on
of the game.
stream.
And that instills hope for me for every future update, as well as 2.1's fishing event was at least, you know, for me, 3 days of pure fun, which I really enjoyed. That's pretty much all I'm asking for. Just give me a reason to revisit the game every 6 weeks. That's pretty much it. And I thought it was great, to be honest.
I like that. See, I like that. That's a smart way to do it. I just wish I was better at organizing myself so I could actually, like, do it on stream.
Memes shit. That's kind of.
But I just sort of, like, log
That's
in
like
one day and see if there's an event. I never actually look ahead to see what's happening. I should be smarter about that, honestly. I gotta schedule out my streams better.
Okay, now I'm going to read these comments, and then I'm going to tell you guys why ZZZ actually fell off. And you're the one playing the most boring gacha game of all time. No, Girls from Line 2 is fine. 0 points.
Yeah, what the hell?
Bad.
No, L-Take. Growth Frontline 2 is freaking amazing. I love it. For sure, they need to add way more enemy types. That's like that's just a fact. They need way more enemy types, but it's freaking fun. I love it.
I got baited by thumbnail this dog shit. Power creep is mute since free to play over PvP restrictions. So why did it fell off? You're not explaining the video. Nice rage bait vid. You have your opinion, I have mine, but goddamn, yours is just trash. You're gonna get views for rage bait. This video is just rage bait. Okay, let me tell you why
Could be, right?
Zone Zero
I feel like
actually fell off. Okay, so
TVs. Period. We don't have to. We don't gotta listen anymore. There it is. That's the reason why I failed. You're welcome. It was the TVs. I'm not even joking. It was 90. It was 60% the TVs, and 40% everything else that he's about to say. But it was 60% the TVs. The TVs were some of the stupidest, most convoluted, most time wasting, most like just nonsensical freaking minigame I've ever freaking seen. It took you out of the action on a beat 'em up game. What the hell is wrong with you? Why the hell would you ever freaking do that? Why would you ever take somebody out of the action on a beat 'em up game? Like, rather than doing that, you should have made the maps bigger, given more areas to do more combat, more fighting. Why the hell would you give us freaking TV? It's so stupid. Downtime? Anytime I'm not spending beating up bad guys is downtime, and we hate downtime. You get what I'm saying? There's a beat 'em up. Anytime I'm spending not beating up stuff is not acceptable. But whatever. Right? Also, the end game is freaking boring. They needed to add more to it. And it's also because of the TVs, but there just wasn't a whole lot to the end game. There really wasn't. They needed to add more.
I'm gonna speak in absolutes as much as I possibly can.
Oh, and frankly, it's way too damn complicated. The end game is way too damn complicated. You gotta go to this guy to talk to that about this, and you gotta talk to this person if you want the CDs for the CD to go into the character, but that's not the right CD because you gotta get an S-rank CD for the freaking thing, and it doesn't matter if you got that CD though because you don't got the right engine, so you gotta go over there to get the right engine first, and it's just like it's too damn complicated. It's way too damn complicated, and it's just like stop adding more and more and more like RNG elements to it, dude.
Okay, I can provide proof.
The story is phenomenal. I
Almost
love everything about the story and the characters. Love them.
In some essence, obviously I can't show exact numbers because I don't have the raw data from the company. However, I don't think it would be skewed when compared to its own launch. So I'm going to go over as much objective things as I possibly can to explain what went wrong with Zenless Zone Zero. I encourage other creators to feel free to react to this. I would love to know other people's opinions on this.
Way ahead of you.
We're going to try to keep this pretty abstract.
Gotcha.
I'm going to compile some data.
I'm on it.
Okay, so I first want to start off with Google Trends. Now, this is something that a lot of people can take with
Yeah.
a grain of salt, because all this does is tell you how many times people Googled the name. Okay?
I mean, sure, but like, let's be honest. 80% of these searches are for. Let's be honest. 80% of the searches are for Zenless Zone Zero Corn. They're looking up Zenless Zone Zero Hentai, Zenless Zone Zero Rule 34. I don't know if Google's a great friggin', you know what I mean? But to be fair, it's probably the reason why Overwatch was so popular, right? So maybe he's onto something. Maybe Tectone's onto something actually. Because technically, Overwatch Corn is what made Overwatch. Let's be real here. Okay, if there wasn't a whole controversy about Tracer's booty cheeks, like, people would not have paid as much attention to that game.
Obviously, this does not indicate any direct numbers of player count whatsoever. We will never have those numbers.
No, but it does show, like, video game interest, like, overall game interest. And when it comes to gachas, that is the most important thing. You need eyeballs on your product so people will go and, like, want to try it out.
As far as the general interest of the worldwide population, due to Google Trends, it is shown that Zenless Zone Zero had about 25% of the interest that Genshin Impact had, and 50% of the interest that Honkai Star Rail had. Now, currently, in today's climate, in the past, let's say, 90 days, Zenless Zone Zero is actually overtaking Honkai Star Rail a little bit, but that's because a new version update just dropped. And
Very, very true. Also, though, I feel like Honkai Star Rail tends to have they're having quite a bit of a downward, like, it's a pretty consistent downward trend.
generally, ZZZ and HSR are pretty around the same, with ZZZ being a little bit lower, with Genshin completely obliterating both of them. Now, all that is how many people are looking up the game name. Now, just being real, speaking of other raw numbers, Zenless, and I'm just saying this because it's the truth, Google...
And again, though, but no, it's true, because the way I think about it is, besides 80% of it probably being, like, let me go back to this. Now, the way I'm looking at this is, like, 80% of this is Rule 34, Zenless Zone Zero. The other 20% is people looking up, like, the guides, or looking up Pridwin, Game 8, like, tier lists to see which characters to pull for. You get me? Or trying to find out about the latest update. So it's actually a pretty smart way to look at it. Not for, like, direct game numbers, but for general public interest in the game.
Are pretty around the same.
Pretty smart, actually.
Now, just being real, speaking of other raw numbers, Zenless, and I'm just saying this because it's the truth, Google Trends also counts how many people are looking up porn, okay? And you can take this as a joke.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
does
exactly.
keep games relevant. And
It does. Look at Overwatch. Overwatch is the best freaking example of this. The best example of this.
34, Zenless Zone Zero, in a quarter of the time of Honkai Star Rail, has already overtaken.
Nikkei has. I guarantee that Nikkei lives and breathes like hentai. It's why the game is still so popular. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Every single one of Unique players has looked it up.
has been made of the
Don't
game.
lie to me.
This game is very Gooner
Not me, of course.
forward,
I do it for
and
the
that
I do it for the
does
culture
drive
and the
a lot of
content.
community engagement towards finding the general interest online.
I'm a
But
good Christian monkey.
in terms of launch size, Zenless Zone Zero has been the lowest. The other big issue that Zenless Zone Zero currently has is of all the game's issues on launch, Zenless Zone Zero had the largest ones.
The Bernice twerk, let's go! I lost a 50-50 on Bernice. Flamethrower Monkey lost Bernice, bro. I can't. Yo, when the hell are we gonna get the orangutan guy? He better be a playable character. You better bring the orangutan.
The TVs really slowed their momentum, as well as the combat system feeling clunky due to the fact that you only get one ult per character. It made a lot of people turned off from the combat as a whole, as well as also having...
Okay, hold up. How is this on Kick? I mean, is this on Twitch? How do I get that on mine? I want this on mine. How do I get this in my chat? Master Sam, do you know how to do that in my chat?
In the form of Wuthering Waves, where
We'll find
pretty
out.
much
We'll find
everything
out.
that Hoyoverse wanted to make with
Oh, y'all don't even know how degenerate we're about to get.
Wuthering Waves already enveloped.
DW, get on it.
Yeah.
DW,
That is
if you're
the
if you're
game's
editing this one,
closest
get on it.
direct competitor. Right? Like Genshin and Zenless are both competing with Wuthering Waves, and I'm going to be real, Wuthering Waves completely obliterated Zenless Zone Zero. It just fucking did. Like, it shit on it very hard. But it is what it is. Another thing to note, and every creator who's reacting this, I would love to know your opinion. However, based on my general interest, or my general attention to detail on engagement and analytics, is Zenless Zone Zero performs the worst on YouTube and Twitch. It is the one that the least people watch in terms of developer live streams, in terms of guides, in terms of gameplay,
I don't know much
in
about
terms of memes.
I don't know much about like developer VODs. I'm gonna let him keep talking while I look up my own live streams on that one specifically.
Pretty much barely any people are going to watch.
Yeah, I have a very
Really,
small sample size, but I have a sample size. And I'm genuinely curious now how much, like, since I do play quite a few gacha games on here, I wonder how many people actually do turn in.
Comparison.
Because I get most of my, like, out of all the gacha games, if I had to say off the top of my head, the vast majority of my views were on Nikkei. The vast majority of my views were on Nikkei.
into Honkai Star or Genshin Impact. And why is that? I could sit here and tell you it's because the combat isn't as good. I could sit here and tell you it's because the story isn't as good. I could sit here and tell you it's because people just aren't that interested.
It's
But
because the mechanics are too damn complicated. The grind is freaking, like, harsh. And even, and not only are you grinding for the character's level, you're grinding for the character's skills, you're grinding for the character's engine, you're grinding for the character's engine CDs. It's way too damn complicated.
to be completely honest, and I'm just going to be real, I just think it's luck. Yeah, I think it's luck. I think Wuthering Waves already filled the niche that Zenless Zone Zero was attempting to fill. And so I just think that people just aren't as interested because I think they get what they want from other games. And there's not really a reason to play Zenless Zone Zero for a lot of players of the current day and age. And the biggest issue that I currently really believe in is Zenless Zone Zero is meant to be played casually from time to time. But the problem is that getting back into Zenless Zone Zero is very hard due to the fact that the UI is very confusing.
The UI, yes, but more than just the UI. The overall mechanics and endgame mechanics as well. There's also a lot of confusion for a lot of the characters, because a lot of the characters are entirely intended to be played with controller and not keyboard and mouse, and there's a big like drop off there. Especially for me, I was a big keyboard and mouse player, but one of my favorite characters is Nicole. And you can't use Nicole's best move without basically either hitting WASD, WASD, WASD in like a circle pattern, or on a controller you would just rotate the freaking joystick. You get me? And so there's a lot of like little things like that too that they never really like fine-tuned for keyboard and mouse or for other experiences.
And if you're a casual player like myself that likes to bounce in and out of the game,
Same, yeah.
you come back and the game feels very odd. You don't really know what to do. There's tons of event pings. You don't really know where to go. The naming convention for things doesn't really make that much sense. And The UI is a large factor in where if you play the game for a long time, you're really gonna like it. But if you're a casual, you're not gonna know the difference between all of the menus whenever you log on. And it's a little bit jarring, to say the least. I understand what they were going for in terms of Persona, but Persona was a much smaller, much more compact game, whereas Zenless Zone Zero is constantly evolving to where every update it becomes a little bit more convoluted, because you ask yourself, was it New Eridu 1, or was it Station 1 floor, or was it Stage 2 floor? And I went there and that's not it. Wait, this is the new town. How do I get back to the old town? And a lot of people are actually having that issue. And I think the thing that really blows about Zenless Zone Zero is that I do actually think it's a very good game. But I think...
It really is. The overall gameplay is incredibly fun. It really is. It's just... There's like so many things in the game that almost make it feel like it's damn near trying to keep me away from it, dude. The TVs are one thing. Like, I don't freaking want downtime. Get me in the next fight. Get me in the next match. I don't want to, like, fight an enemy and then go through a loading screen and then fight another enemy. Like, the in-between areas where you fight an enemy and then just, like, go to the next area, and then you go to the next area, and then it locks you in that area, and now you have to fight the enemies here. I love that. More of that. More of that. Stop taking me out of the freaking fight. Damn. Less
Well, I'm
downtime.
always going to jerk off of the game. I'm going to be real. The porn is crazy. Shuon's ass and titties are crazy, right? I will always love it.
Love
But
it.
even
All the way. Rat Queen forever. Grace.
I'm having a hard time playing with it because I go in and I feel like an old guy. But I don't think you can really deny that Zenless Zone Zero is pretty much the worst performing gacha of the big four right now. It doesn't really have its own identity, and I do think it is kind of struggling to stand out from the crowd. But I would love to know y'all's opinion on why you think Zenless Zone Zero didn't do as good as it could. However, I do have high hopes for Zenless Zone Zero 2.0. I know faith in Hoyoverse is at an all-time low right now, with Genshin Impact being in the worst shape it's ever been right now, as well as HSR pretty much going off the deep end, which we're all waiting with our fingers crossed, holding our breath, hoping to God 3.2 isn't a disaster. And the more and more I hear about it, the more and more it gets. Faith in the company is at an all-time low right now. And there's so many excuses, it's kind of hard to pin down the one that broke, the straw that broke the camel's back. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, how you feel about gacha games in Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star right now. Appreciate y'all watching.
Honestly, I agree with the vast majority of what... Oh, crap, sorry. Freaking... Oh, frick, my camera's about to freaking uncharge. Sorry about that. Honestly, I agree with the vast majority of what he's saying here. Just to sort of, like... Again, very small sample size. But here is my live stream. This is just live streams. Again, I'm a very, very small channel. Even though I have been live streaming on Twitch for about 2 years now. YouTube, I've only been streaming for about a year. So, at most, with Zenless Zone Zero, and this was during the Bernice agent story, by the way, last time I streamed, 70 views. Like... We got Wuthering Waves. The Black Shores update, 27. I lost my 50-50 and then never played it again. 27. Very small sample size again for mine. Honkai Star Rail, 50. And I will note, this is a lot more consistently in like the 20s to 40s to 50s. Compared to like Wuwa, which people just freaking ragged on me for my gameplay. And I was actually popping off on Zenless. I just sort of fell off. Honestly, should have kept playing it. But you want to know what took over, though? It got me a lot more views, was Monke. Which, at my height, which was during, like, a really particularly hot time in the storyline, 287 views, 96 views, 68. I got a lot more freaking views on Monke. A lot more. And not live, of course. This also counts like after the fact. But I'm just saying, these are views. These are views that I'm getting, and like for a very, 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 very small YouTuber who's like still freaking sub 500 views, subscribers. I mean, it's not like I kind of see what I should be playing, what I shouldn't be playing. You get me? But I kind of fell off from Zenless, and I freaking loved the game. I loved it a lot. I have really good characters, honestly. And I would love to continue to enjoy it and to play it, but I don't know. It got a little too complicated for me. Other gacha games came up that were just simpler, like Girls Frontline. Super simple. You got the T-doll, which is the waifu. You got the waifu. I pull for the waifu. What else is there to come with the waifu? Well, the waifu has a weapon. Okay, we can pull for the signature weapon. And what else is there? And that's it. You got, okay, everything else is just grind the levels, get extra copies of the waifu, get extra copies of the weapon, and then just sort of grind whatever freaking skills or whatever freaking, like, grind whatever you have to. Grind the skills and grind the freaking, the XP, the overall XP of the character and the weapon. Done. There's like 3 or 4 things you gotta really concern yourself about, really just 3. Same thing with Wuthering Waves. You have your waifu, you have your weapon for the waifu, and then you have the skills. Honkai Star Rail, yeah, about the same. I mean, you got the light cones, but that's basically just the weapon. You got the waifu, you got the weapon, and you grind both of those, and then you have the skills as well. And that's pretty much about it. But then you get into Zenless Zone Zero, and you got the waifu, you got the W engine, you got the CDs for each W engine. Like, and each CD has to have their own freaking rank. Then you gotta level up each individual freaking CD, because there's like freaking 6 CDs that you have to worry about. And what if you don't get the right CD? So it's like each CD is its own freaking thing you have to like go after. I guess you could compare it to like the echoes of Wuthering Waves. But I don't know. I don't know. I think he's right. It is a little too complicated. The freaking TV suck. Get rid of them. Yeah, I like the game though. Overall, I do like it. I love it. I love it a lot. I might get back into it. I want to see this power creep if it's like for myself, if it's really that freaking harsh. But we'll see. All right, let's move on. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!